So has anybody here not seen the inside of a Torah? We're just starting from okay, so you've all seen the inside of the Torah. So you've seen what the Torah looks like on the inside, the words, right? What's unusual about, what do you see when you open a Torah?
It doesn't look like what we see in the book.
Doesn't look like what you see in the book. That's a good observation.
There are no sentences. It just keeps going.
It's like one run-on sentence, right? There's no punctuation.
No vowels.
No vowels, right? Because in Hebrew, the vowels aren't separate letters like in English. They're markings. There are no vowels. There's no trope. Now, does anybody not know what trope is? So what is trope? What have you learned that trope is?
That's how you sing it.
How you sing it. So just like how the vowels are little markings that tell us how to pronounce the words, right? And how to pronounce, because without vowels, right, your name would be. So the vowels really shape the word. They tell us how to pronounce the word. You know, your name would be ding. You know, you wouldn't be able to pronounce any of our names without vowels. The trope, these are other symbols, and you can all see, that tell us how, yes, on a surface level, it tells us how to sing the words, but why do we need to sing the words? Right?
Well, we have to form phrases. They give you phrasing.
Yes,
For the text.
It gives you phrases, right? So what I tell kids is that it's ancient punctuation.
That's good.
And it is. It's ancient punctuation. So not only does it give us punctuation, and I'm going to show you how it punctuates the sentences, but it also, because with the melody, I mean, in English we don't have punctuation. We do have punctuation. We don't sing what we say, right? But the singing element of it helps us to be able to remember what we're doing. Why do we need to remember it? Because in the Torah, none of this stuff is there, so we need to know what we're reading so well that it's practically memorized. And that's also a Jewish tradition. When people would study Talmud, there's a sing-songy kind of chant, right? That people use to study Talmud, and it just helps us remember the words. But yes, the main thing is phrasing. So if we look at this, okay, this is the main, I'm starting from the most common trope phrases to the least. So this is the most common. This one on the next page, okay? So this goes like this. Mercha tipcha munach et nachta, right? Now each symbol has a name. Mercha, tipcha, munach, et nachta. Okay? Most of them don't really mean anything, although et nachta, for example, that's actually a word used in Hebrew, in modern Hebrew. It's not modern Hebrew, it's Aramaic, but it's used in modern Hebrew. It comes from the word nach, which means to rest. Very good. Mm-hmm. So that already tells you that this is a kind of a resting punctuation, right? So the way this is usually translated in the world of punctuation, if you look at a translation in a Chumash, is as a semicolon. Okay, so an et nachta is usually translated as a semicolon. But it gives you, so number one, why do we even need to learn these words, these names? We don't need to. It just gives us a common vocabulary. So I could say, your mercha is not quite right? It just gives us a common vocabulary. But it's really just so that we know what to call these symbols. But the names themselves aren't that important. But now let's look at the phrasing. Deanna went to the store. Right? Now, so what is one thing it tells you? That every trope symbol relates to a word, more or less. Deanna went to the store, right? Now, what do we have here? What's different about those lines?
Her name is missing.
Something's missing.
Went to the store.
Right. Or really what it is that this would be a different sentence that happens to have fewer words in it, right? Because each word, for the most part, needs a trope symbol. So sometimes we're missing a trope symbol. Why? People have asked me, why are you missing a trope symbol? Because the sentence is shorter, or the sentence fragment is shorter. Deanna loves bagels. Right? The bagel was good, right? You could do that. Even though this is 2 words, it fits, right? You may not go, the bagel was good, because that gives the word...
It's a complete idea. It's a complete phrase.
Yeah, but every word doesn't have a trope anyhow with it.
Right, well, because not every word is as important.
Right.
Was
But I'm
isn't that
saying
important?
Why you? Okay.
Right, does that make...
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you wouldn't really say, the bagel was good. You could, but it gives was a little too much too much importance. The bagel was good. Can someone give me one for this one?
Bagel gone.
Bagel gone, right? Or you could even go, the bagel is gone, right? Because you see, even though there's extra words in there, those words aren't so important. So what you would see in Torah is if you see 2 words like that, they'll be hyphenated often. Sometimes they'll be hyphenated.
Hyphen in the Torah?
Yeah, well, not in the actual Torah, but in here, yeah.
Oh, but not
you'll
in the
see,
Torah. But
you'll see
there's
some.
no hyphens in the Torah.
No. But you'll see 2 words hyphenated, which really means that they're equivalent to 1 word. The bagel was good, right? And again, they emphasize the important words and what's important about them. So I'm going to teach you. Let's actually look at this. So when I teach my kids, I teach it with hand motions. Okay, and the hand motions, they're not from Sinai. They help us. They look like the trope symbols, and they just help us to remember them. So feel free, even if it feels silly to you, feel free to do them. So this is how this goes. Mercha tipcha munach et nachta.
That's very good.
It's good, right? Let's try it. You ready? Mercha tipcha munach et nachta. Good. Let's do it again. Mercha tipcha munach et nachta. Now try to do this one.
Tipcha munach et
Very good. Next one.
Mercha tipcha et nachta.
Very good. This one.
Tipcha et nachta.
Very good. And if I'm going to be really picky, everyone's trope is a little different, sounds a little different, but if we're doing exactly the way I do it, then I would do tipcha et nachta. Try it again.
Tipcha et nachta.
Now, as I said, everyone's trope is a little different, okay? When I'm actually reading Torah, I don't really do my trope exactly like this, just because I read fast and I don't do da-da.
You don't have time to do them all. Because
Right.
it's so fast.
Yeah, and I could. It's just not. Again, it's this. The way I do this tipcha. It's not actually the way I do it. But the reason why I switched my trope for when I teach to do that is because it gives tipcha like its own sound, and I just find it's easier to teach that way. And if you're reading Torah, if you're laning slowly, it totally makes sense to do it like this.
Are these only 4 patterns that we're going to see?
Oh no.
No.
Oh no. So here's your et nachta phrase, your kind of semicolon phrase. Okay. Now we turn the page to sof pasuk phrases. Right. Sof pasuk literally means in Hebrew end of sentence. So what is this in punctuation?
Period.
A period. Right. Now we have some similar here. So we've got mercha, tipcha. Now we have mercha again. Sof pasuk. Okay. So it goes like this. Mercha tipcha, mercha sof pasuk. Again, it's good, right? Mercha tipcha, mercha sof pasuk. I'm trying to get it so that the camera can see me. I'll stand for a second. Let's do the whole thing. Ready? Mercha tipcha, mercha sof pasuk. Very good. Tipcha, mercha. Very good. Next one. Mercha tipcha sof pasuk. Very good. Last one. Tipcha sof pasuk. Very good. Very good. So now, usually an etnachta phrase will be followed by a sof pasuk phrase. So we can say, for example, Deanna went to the store. Deanna bought a bagel. Right? It finishes the phrase. Okay? Again, that whole sentence with the two sentence fragments can have shorter sentence fragments or longer sentence fragments, depending on what is being said in the Torah. Now, here's another really, really common one. Okay? It's called mapach, pashta, munach, katon. Okay? So the mapach. So sometimes the trope symbols are under words, sometimes they're over words. Mapach, pashta is over the word. Munach, katon. And pretty soon we're gonna look at actual
It's kind of like
Torah.
like a stop, like a direction sign. It's like that arrow.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, so that's
And it looks
the word's
going
going
to
to continue.
Like that. Yeah. And katon, I would say, is like a comma. Okay?
Well, it's going to something. It's movement.
Right. This is movement, right? And it actually sort of sounds like this. And then katon, when you see those two dots over a word, that's equivalent to, in English, a comma. That's how you'll usually see it translated. So it goes like this. Mapach pashta munach katon.
Do I have to do that hand?
No, you don't. But it might help you, so
No,
feel free.
it's
If it doesn't, that's fine. All right, so let's try it again. Mapach pashta munach katon. Very good. Now again, sometimes the sentences are shorter, so we start from pashta. Pashta munach katon. Very good. Now just munach katon. Munach katon. Mapach pashta katon. Pashta katon. Right? So, let's see. And here's another one that's related. It's sideways. That's the only problem. We're just going to have to look sideways. You ready? No, I'll try to put it like this. You hold it? Okay. Got it? Okay, good. So, this one goes like this. Kadma, mapach, pashta, munach, katon. And this one. Kadma, mapach, pashta, katon. Very good.
so the kadma
Yeah?
and the pashta, they look the same.
They look the same. It's true. Kadma and pashta. Here's another kadma. Here's another kadma. So ignore the rest. Here's a kadma. What's the difference between a kadma and a pashta? What do you see that's different? They look the same. It's the exact same symbol. Now you don't see a pashta, but imagine that this is a pashta. It would be right here. What's the difference?
Pashta is part of two parts. Are they always
You know what? Can I borrow? Is that a pencil?
it's a pen?
Pen, even better. Ignore it. Okay. So. Well, pretend you can see it. I lost ink, but
Oh no, give me another.
it's okay. what's the difference between, thank you.
That's because you're writing upside down. Pens don't write upside down.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
You can try that.
I have one too.
But if you can see it, oh, thank you.
I don't think it'll work upside down.
Well, we'll see. It'll work for like a second. Okay. Now, thank you. Now, what's the difference between the two? They're the exact same symbol.
One's in the beginning and one's at the end.
Aha, yes. Now, one is,
It kind of initiates.
The first part of the word is emphasized versus the last part of the word is emphasized.
so that's a very, 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 very good guess.
What did you
Yeah.
say?
Okay, so he said that in this one, in kadma, the
the
first
emphasis.
part is emphasized of the word. Pasha, the second part is emphasized. So what he's getting at is something that's very interesting. Another purpose of trope. It also tells us where to emphasize the word, right? Sometimes for my kids, I'll write, a lot of them take Spanish, I'll write on their paper, hola, because there's an accent, I think, on the O, right? Hola. Exact same thing. They serve as accents. They tell you where to emphasize the word. So on Faith's name, now again, we're translating English and Hebrew, so it's a little different because you could say it's on a consonant or a vowel, but where would a trope symbol be on your name?
Be in the beginning.
Yeah, so over which letter do you think?
Oh, the F.
Faith. So either the F or the A, right? In Hebrew, it would be the same character.
They together, actually.
Right. It would be the same character in Hebrew. But yeah, over the Faith, over the F,
Over the
or the A, over the consonant Fe, right? So that's how it is in most trope symbols. But some are always in the same place. Because there's an exception to every rule, because they don't want to make it so easy on us, right? So some trope symbols are always in the same part of the word. Pashta,
at the end.
always at the end. Always, regardless of where the emphasis of the word is. Well, that's confusing, right? Kadma is wherever the emphasis is. So it's not necessarily the beginning, but it's wherever the emphasis. So faith, right, on the word faith, faith is hard because it's one syllable. Elana, right, Elana. A kadma would be in the middle, it would be like on the first A, let's say, or the L, right? Pashta would always be at the end. But we don't pronounce my name Ilana, right? Even though there's a pashta at the end. So some places, you'll see here, Trope Trainer, that's what I used to print these things out. They're very nice about it, and some chumashim are very, very nice about it. And they'll actually put, can I borrow that pen again? They'll actually put, like in a lighter color or something, a ghost one, to show you that this is where the emphasis is. Even though it's a pashta, this is the pashta, but we're going to show you where the emphasis of the word is. Right? Because sometimes it's not really where you think, even if you know
they're
Hebrew.
not in the Torah anyhow, so you have to know them. You have to study before what you're going to see in the Torah.
Yes. Yes.
And then what you see in the Torah doesn't look like what you're studying anyhow.
Right. Well, which is why you have something like this, right?
Oh, that's a copy.
Called a tikun. Okay, well, the book that has all these in it is called a tikun. And it has two sides, right? It has this side with vowels, this one, side with vowels and trope and all the information you need. And then this side, which is basically what it looks like in the Torah.
Okay, so you got a crib sheet.
Yeah. Well, but so what you do is you use it to practice. You learn it from here with the vowels, with it, you learn it very well. And then you look at this side to test yourself, and you look at it, and it looks very scary because it has some ornaments that, like you would see in the Torah. It mimics the calligraphy in the Torah. It looks very scary, and then you start and you realize, oh, I know this.
Okay.
Not a big deal. Yeah. So we went over, I would say, the most common phrases, right? So we went over, let's just do a quick review. Ignore what you see here. Let's do a quick review. So we got our et nachta phrases, our semicolon phrases. Mercha, tipcha, munach, et nachta. And remember, sometimes they're missing one or two of those symbols. And then we have the sof pasuk, the period. Mercha, tipcha, mercha, sof pasuk, right? And then we have our kind of comma phrases, our katon phrases. Mapach, pashta, munach, katon. Let's just do that once more for fun. Mapach, pashta, munach, katon. Very good. And then sometimes our sentence is a little longer in a katon phrase, so we need a kadma to add another word to it. So we have kadma, mapach, pashta, munach, katon. These, don't worry, they're just here to help you and for no other reason. So it's okay. So those are the most common phrases. So now let's take a look at some Torah. I took out the shortest aliyot in Toldot. The reason why I chose Toldot, I think it's because it's the one that's 5 weeks from now. Hey, you never know.
Are these the same notes that are found in the Siddur too, or is?
Say it again.
Are these the same notes that are in the Siddur too, or are they different?
In the Chumash.
They're in the Chumash.
Yes. So if you open the Chumash, like the big red book, right? The Siddur just tells us our prayers, but the Chumash is what has the Torah in it. If you open a Chumash, you will see this, right? You'll see with the any Chumash will have, unless there's a mistake, it'll have the same trope, same vowels, right? So let's take a look at this. Let's just take a look at the first aliyah that we have here, which is actually the second aliyah in Toldot, in our second triennial cycle of Toldot. Who can show me something that you recognize? Trope symbols, trope phrases that you recognize.
By name?
If you can't do it by name, then by hand motion, by
My problem is
any
I
kind of
can't
description.
see. I had eye surgery and it's not.
Oh
not
no.
better. So I should have brought a magnifying glass.
I know that first one, which is
That
the second
first
word
one?
with the mashpa. What is that? Mash.
Yeah. So look at the very first one. What's
Looks like a munah.
That's a mapa.
mapach?
Pashto.
Yes.
Pashta.
Mapach pashta what?
Mish.
Ka-
Kadma.
Katon.
Katon.
Very good. So hold on. So let's just remember our hand motions now and how we learned it. Mapach pashta katon. Very good, right? That's exactly what we see right here. I'm going to just hold it up to the, see, mapach pashta katon. Very good. That's exactly what we see. So who can read the Hebrew?
Vayahas lohem mishteh.
Beautiful. Vaya'as lahem mishteh. Now, how come it's vaya'as?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm over here.
Oh no.
She read it.
We're right here.
I know,
It's
but
okay.
it didn't make sense to me. I'm in the wrong place.
No problem.
Okay.
So now, how come it's vaya'as and not vaya'as? Anybody want to?
Well, because the symbol is under the letter that you
Exactly. Everybody understand that? So that it's
Wherever the symbol
vaya'as,
is,
not vaya'as, right? Because the symbol is,
Underneath.
it's right underneath the yud. Vaya'as.
Vayas.
So who could, you were just singing it.
Vayas.
Wait, hold on. Vaya.
Vayas. Lahem. Mishteh.
Close. You're doing a different trope phrase,
Yeah.
but very nicely.
Thanks.
So, mapach pashta katon. Now, how do we do it with the words? Vayas lahem mishter. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Vayas lahem mishter. Very good. Now the next two words. What do we got there?
I was looking at them before.
So then you can tell us.
Oh, I got mixed up.
Vayachlu, vayishtu.
Vayochlu, vayishtu. And what's the trope?
Can't see.
It's so pasuk.
Hashta.
Vayachlu,
Wait, you said it's sof pasuk at the end? Yes.
Yeah.
So what's before the sof pasuk?
Hashta. No, Micha.
Yes.
And Micha's
Oh,
going the
close.
other way.
Mircha is going the other way, so what is this?
Tifra.
Tifcha. Very good. Great, because they always go in order. They always go in order, just sometimes they're missing. So here we have
So it's
Tifcha.
so
Exactly.
pasu.
Exactly. Tipcha, sof pasuk. Let's just sing that again. Tipcha, sof pasuk. Very good. Now with the words. Vayochelu, vayishtu. Again. Vayochelu, vayishtu. You guys just figured out an entire pasuk on day one of learning Torah trope. That's all it takes. Let's try from the beginning of the pasuk. Ready? Vayas lahem mishter, vayochelu, vayishtu. That's all it is. That's pretty good.
Except the symbols won't be there.
Except,
You
oh,
gotta practice.
okay. Don't look at it. Vayas lahem mishter, vayochelu, vayishtu. There you go.
But you memorize it.
You basically have to memorize it, but the melody helps you.
It kind of flows.
It
Yeah.
flows. It helps. It flows. It helps you to know where the period is, where the phrasing is, and yeah, you just have to practice. You have to practice.
I'm good
Yeah.
at it.
Oh yes, you can.
Well, the squash is getting old.
I'll
You'll be
tell you
fine.
the clue from me, and I tell this to people. All you have to do is take 5 minutes a day. It really,
Mhm.
you don't, really and truly, you don't have to sit with it
Yeah.
too long.
No.
And
I.
it's repetitive. You have to
You know, your 5 minutes.
But
for me
anyone
might
can
be
do
different.
5 minutes.
And yeah, you know.
I tell my students to put a timer on their phone. You know, like when I meditate, I put a timer, right? 7 minutes. I sit there, right? And I know, like, the timer's going to go off, so I don't have to worry about the time. You take your phone, 5 minutes, timer, or kitchen timer, whatever, 5 minutes. You practice. Then you're done. You don't have to think about it for the rest of the day. And it doesn't take that much. When you know it really doesn't, you know, if you're doing a short piece, it doesn't take that much. So now let's continue looking. Let's look at the next. So far, you know all of these trope symbols. Look at the next two words. What do we have?
Munach.
Yes? Well, what usually comes after? So we're looking right here. Munach. Ah, okay. So munach, which is the right angle one. Munach, I like to say to my kids, even though it's sort of a dated thing, I like to say that munach is a poser. We used to say that when we were kids. That munach, hey.
Hi.
Yes?
I was in the other meeting for a half hour before I figured out it wasn't the Trope Class. No.
Are you joining us?
I'm in the middle of the stuff there.
Okay.
But I wanted to be here for this. This was actually scheduled first, and I will be here next week.
Fantastic. And I'm videoing it. So if you want to see this week, it's going to be on my YouTube channel.
Great.
Yeah?
I think Jerry's
You won't
gonna
miss
come
anything.
too.
Good.
Carry
Good.
on.
Good. So we have here. Okay. So munach is one of those. We all know these kids in high school who they were insecure. They'd hang out with different groups and they didn't really know who they were. So whatever group they were hanging out with, they would be like those kids. They'd be the jocks when they're hanging out with the jock. They'd be the artsy people when they're hanging out with the artsy. That's what munach is, okay? Munach doesn't really have his own identity. So you always need to know who munach is hanging out with.
But
Okay.
never by itself.
What?
It's never by itself.
Never by
No.
itself. There are some tropes that
When
you'll
you
see
hear
by
munach,
themselves.
you can hear munach, but something has to follow it.
But look at this though. Hold on. Okay. So, our first one, Mercha Tipcha Munach et Nachta, right?
It didn't go up. It was munach.
It goes down. Munach et
But it
Nachta.
doesn't sound like it's finished.
Right. Munach, that is one thing about
That's what I'm
Munach,
saying.
is that Munach is not a resting symbol. It does not
But
sound like it's finished.
Like there's something
It sounds like there's
follow.
something following, absolutely. But it sounds like this, munach et nachta. So that's a munach et nachta. You have to note that the munach is hanging out with et nachta right now, okay? But now, what happens when munach is hanging out with katon? Ma pa pashta munach katon.
Sounds different.
Sounds totally different. Because Munach is one of those insecure kids in high school, doesn't
It
have
never
his
goes
own
along,
identity.
never goes on
It
its
has
own.
two sounds.
Right?
It never goes on its own.
Never goes on its own. It's always coupled with someone. Just think about that insecure kid. It's always coupled with someone, and it is who they want it to be. Okay? So Munach Katon. So now it's with Katon. It's hanging out with Katon. So now what do we have here? What do we have here? Perfect. Faith, do you see that? Vayashkimu vaboker.
And the
Perfect.
bet is being emphasized on that next word.
Yes. So on that next word, right?
Sing it again. Sing those
Yep.
words again.
Vayashkimu vaboker. So we see a couple things, right? We see, number one, we see our munach sounds different because it's with katon. We see what Michael, what Michael was just saying, was pointing out, vaboker, right? Vayashkimu, that the emphasis is wherever you see the trope symbol, right? Perfect. Faith, perfect. Yeah.
I mean, that's even a word it means morning. There aren't too many words that I would know the meaning of.
But, and when you get to the point at which your Hebrew is very good and you understand what's going on, it does make it a lot easier to read Torah.
We really
For
faked
sure.
our way through Hebrew school.
I have a very user-friendly chumash at home.
Uh-huh.
It goes line by line with the translation.
Interlinear,
That's
yeah.
nice.
So it's like,
Is it Mitsuda?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Mitsuda.
Mitsuda. Mitsuda makes very nice sidurim and chumashim that are intralinear with the Hebrew, transliteration, and translation. They're beautiful. I
And the
definitely
Rush.
recommend them. So good. So we have Vayashkimu vaboker. Now what do we have?
Shavu.
Well, hold on. First, let's look at the trope just for fun. So what trope do we have?
Yeah.
Pashta.
Wait, after vaboker? No.
The shin.
Tipha.
Tipcha, very good.
Munach
Munach
et nachta.
et nachta. How does that go? You will,
Now,
don't
my
worry.
iPad's-
Yeah. Tipcha, munach et nachta. Very good. So now, let's just read the words.
Vayishavu ish la'achiv.
Perfect. All right, let's just do that again. Vayishavu ish le'achiv. Perfect, right? So you've already cut out all of those middle steps for the tropes that you know, which means that you're advancing. So Vayishavu ish le'achiv. Now, of course, part of learning this is the repetition and getting you're getting the words and the trope and everything in your mouths.
You wouldn't want to read this and put it on a disc, would you?
Well,
She has
eventually I will, maybe if we need it, but not now because right now we're just learning. But this entire class is on YouTube. I'll show you how to access it. Okay. So Vayashkimu vaboker Vayishavu ish le'achiv. Good. Let's actually start from the very beginning. Vayas lahem mishkeh vayochelu vayishtu vayashkimu vaboker vayishaveu ish le'achiv. Good. Very good. See, it's already getting in your mouths. It's getting into your muscle memory. And that's part of the process of learning this. What do we have now? We still know the tropes here. Yes? Munach. What? Who's Munach hanging out with?
Oh,
Yitzchak.
Katan.
Katon. Very good. Very good. And how does it go? Munach.
Katan.
Very good. Now let's read the... Very good. Vaishalechem Yitzchak. Let's do it again. Vaishalechem Yitzchak. Now, we finish the sentence with what? Wait. Look again. First of all, how do you finish a sentence? We always finish a sentence the same way. Right? Always with a period.
Mapach pashta.
Is it mapach pashta?
Oh.
Look at it again. First of all, what's the very last one? How do we finish a sentence? It's not sof pasuk. So what's the phrase that leads to sof pasuk? Thank you, Faith. Mercha tipcha. Mercha sof pasuk. So what do we have here? We may not have every single piece of that. I'm going to show that. Yes. Vayelechu me'ito b'shalom. Very good.
So it kind of goes down at the end.
Yes, and it sounds like a period, right?
Does that happen with all the sentences? All the
every single. Well, in English, every single in any language, every single sentence ends with a period.
Yeah. And then our voice goes down.
Yeah. That's what a period sounds like in trope language.
Otherwise, we need a lot of asthma inhalers.
Yeah. No, in trope language, that's what a period sounds like.
Yeah.
They don't even
Sof
have those on the other
pasuk.
side.
Yes, but trust me, you will not have any problem with that. You're going to know it so well. It's going to be in your muscle memory. You're going to be singing it in your sleep before. Yes, you do. Everyone does. You're going to be singing it in your sleep before you read it from the Torah. Okay? So let's just read that entire phrase, that entire pasuk where it says 31. Okay? Where there's a little 31.
There's a 31 right here.
Vayashkimu. So we're going to start from here. It's okay. Vayashkimu vaboker vayishaveu ish le'achiv vayishalechem Yitzchak vayelechu me'ito. Oh, I messed up. Sorry, from vayelechu. That's. Thank you. That was perfect. Vayelechu me'ito b'shalom. Good. Now from the top. Vayas lahem mishkeh vayochelu vayishtu vayashkimu vaboker vayishaveu ish le'achiv vayishalechem Yitzchak vayelechu me'ito b'shalom. I messed up. So vayelechu me'ito b'shalom. Let's try to look on the other side now, just for fun. Look at it. Let's just try it. Vayas lahem mishteh vayochelu vayishtu vayashkimu vaboker vayishaveu ish le'achiv vayishalech. Oh, see, I don't even know. I have to check. Hold on. Vayishalechem Yitzchak vayelechu me'ito b'shalom. So I had to cheat a little bit. Okay, we don't know it that well yet, but we knew some of it. Was anybody able to remember some of it on the left side?
Yeah.
Well, and there's some hard words in there. Okay, so it just takes a little time.
It's hard just to read it, never mind see it.
Yeah, but it's just practice. You're doing just fine. You are recognizing the trope symbols,
But
and you know what they're
I
called.
had a little Ladino or I would be lost.
That's fine. You know how many times I learned how to read Torah? I learned how to read Torah maybe 5 different times with different teachers. Yeah, I had to just keep learning it, relearning it over and over and over again. It's just part of.
For my head.
It is good practice. It's very mathematical. It's putting puzzle pieces
Yeah.
together, decoding Hebrew, decoding. You're decoding 2 different languages at the same time.
Without you doing trope, I had made a commitment to myself when I stopped doing insurance companies. I was going to learn to read faster. So
Well, this helps you because this is that kind of your brain's working in that way. You're decoding. You're decoding Hebrew language, both letters and vowels, and you're also decoding the trope language, which is a musical language. Hello.
hi.
I am videotaping, so we have it on YouTube.
Okay.
We will, so you can see what you
Okay.
missed on YouTube.
Okay.
No
Okay.
problems at all.
I had such a problem with the food delivery.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
So you might want to, I didn't make enough copies, so you might want to just look on with someone when we look in here. But everything else is on here. Okay, so let's just do a quick review, right? Our trope symbols, our trope phrases that we learned. First of all, who can just give us a quick review of the purpose of trope? Why do we have trope? What is trope? Why do we have it?
Well, it's singing. It's the punctuation.
Well,
Right.
doesn't it also sort of explain the tone that how you're singing it?
Well, yeah, in a punctuation kind of way, phrases,
phrasing.
right? So it provides us with phrasing, right? It also tells us about how to pronounce a word. What does it tell us about each individual word and how to pronounce it? In terms of where the trope symbol is located. Where is the trope symbol located on a word?
The accent.
The accent, right? So if in Spanish, hola, right? It's on the O, right? Right? Elana, right? The trope symbol is on the A or the L, right? But some trope symbols are always in one place. Anybody remember which one? That you know? Pash? Pashta. Now, let's review. And one thing I was saying, and we spoke about this earlier, is that everyone's trope is sometimes a little different. So if you hear differences, if you may not even hear the differences between mine and Cantor Emil's, but if you do, you can ignore them. You could do it the way you know it. You could do it the way I do it. They're all correct. Okay? So let's try it. Mercha tipcha munach et nachtai. Ready? Mercha tipcha munach et nachta. We have little hand motions that help to learn it. And at nachta is like what in punctuation?
Semicolon.
A semicolon, right? So we have Deanna went to the store, right? Betty bought a bagel, right? That every sentence has a different number of words, and the words aren't as important. You know, Faith loves bagels, right? That's how it works. Sorry, I left you.
Michael eats them.
Michael eats them, right?
It works.
So we see how the function of the trope, and we learned our et nachta phrase. Mercha tipcha munach et nachta. Remember munach? What's the funny thing about munach?
It has 2 different sounds.
At least 2. It has more than 2. You just don't know the other ones yet. But yes, munach is like that really insecure kid in high school who, was different depending on who he was with. So right now, munach is with et nachta, so he acts a certain way. Munach et nachta. I'll tell you in a second how he's going to act with katon. Let's remind ourselves, mercha tipcha, mercha sof pasuk. And what's sof pasuk in punctuation?
Period.
Period. Okay? Mercha
Tipcha,
tipcha, mercha
mercha
sopasuk. Very good. And we have the others, right? Tipcha, mercha sopasuk. Very good. Then mercha tipcha sopasuk. Tipcha sopasuk. And again, the what we leave out, it's all a matter of, the number of words in the sentence fragment and the importance of them. Okay? We won't usually say I'm trying to think of we won't usually put a word like the or in or these sort of insignificant words on their own trope symbols, usually, right? In Hebrew, these words are part of another word anyway. They're prefixes instead of their own words anyway. So it's sort of an irrelevant statement that I just made, but in English. All right. Now, katon phrases. Now we're going to see munach in a different setting. Munach is with a different friend, so he's going to act differently this time. Mapach pashta munach katon. Continue. Pashta munach katon. Munach katon. Mapach pashta katon. Pashta katon. Very good. So how's munach behaving with katon?
It sings more.
How does it sound?
Munach.
Yes, munach katon. Don't tell me you're not learning this. I'm not going to take that.
No, I can't do all this.
Well, that stuff is just a learning device. That's not at all necessary. That's not at all necessary. It's literally just a learning device. You know why, Faith? Because everybody learns a little differently. Some people need to hear it. Some people need to see it. Some people need to physically do it. And it's just a matter of if you don't need it to learn, then don't even bother with it.
For all individuals.
Yeah. Oh, and then, oh, right, we've got our mapach, our sideways. You have to learn how to read sideways, just for this one. So we have our, also, sometimes, right, mapach, pashta, munach, katon, we need another word. We have another word in the sentence, so we need another trope symbol. So we have kadma. Kadma, mapach, pashta, munach, katon. Next one. Kadma, mapach, pashta, katon. You're all caught up. Question.
I have too many questions.
Well, you start with one.
No.
No? Okay, that's fine. But at home you can just take a look
Yeah.
at what you missed,
Right.
get the review. But seriously, you can ask any question because I'm sure someone else here has the same question.
Now, the paragraph of V'havta
Yes.
that has all the that's from the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can master V'havta,
Well, it's funny because I actually thought about printing out V'ahavta instead of what I printed out. The reason why I didn't is because we've all learned it in sort of a tune.
It's already
Well, it's not that it's cheating. It's just that
No,
it's going to be confusing because we've learned it in a tune that is like the trope. It's basically the trope, but with little differences. So it would actually be confusing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't do V'ahavta. But this is the Torah portion that we're going to read in 5 weeks. So,
to do it, we should.
I figure we may as well take a look at that one. Even if we all do it all together in one group, why not? Show what we've learned, So it's about time to end. So I'm thinking maybe I may want to leave these ones for the next one. But let's just review. And yeah, look on with Faith and come close. Let's review. So what the other thing that we did here is we took what we know, what we've learned so far, right? And we adapted it to real life, to a Torah portion. We figured it out, how to read it, how to decode the Hebrew and the trope, and we practiced it a little bit. So let's try it together from the very beginning. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Vayas lahem mishteh, vayochelu, vayishtu, vayashkimu vaboker, וישבעו איש לאחיו, וישלחם יצחק, וילכו מאיתו בשלום. That's all we did. It's pretty good. Okay? Any questions before we finish?
I get a little tangled up on that. V'yishalchem.
Yeah, it's a hard word. Vaishalechem. Try
And
it.
that's from shalay, send?
Yes.
Messenger?
Yes. Yes.
But the sounds, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, you will take a look at the video at home.
Okay.
And you'll it's just going to come right back to you.
And he
Because
will
we
send
went
them?
through all of this. We've been doing this already for an hour. We've gone through all of this slowly. So what we just did was like the really fast recap. So it would be confusing.
To you,
Yeah.
it's slowly.
To me, it's slowly, but that's why we have 5 sessions.
Right.
So we're going to review everything. We reviewed everything in this class that we just did. We're going to review next week. We're going to keep reviewing. And now you can go on YouTube. You can look, as soon as I post it, you can look, find the class. You could just literally sit through the whole class again.
In 5 sessions, we would be able to read.
Absolutely. You just did it. You just read 2 verses.
Well, but then
Absolutely.
After you first, you have to master.
Forget about that part.
And then you have to.
Yes. But forget about the second part. Because what I've noticed in teaching, right, is that when you really learn it, when you're like me and you know it, I could easily sight read this in a set, then it's actually a lot harder to get myself to the Torah side because I don't really need to practice, right? But when you're earlier in doing this and you practice, we just sang these 2 verses like 10 times today, right?
Yeah.
When you have to practice it, it becomes part of your muscle memory. You end up trying it on this side and it looks scary and you're scared for the first second, but then you realize that you know it. It's simply in your muscle memory at that point. So don't worry about it.
Is there a copy machine I could go to?
Oh yeah, I'll make you a copy for sure.
Very good.
Any questions before we end? And seriously, any questions?
No questions, just, can I
It's
do that?
interesting, Debbie, because you learn one way and you're trying to,
Right, right.
Well,
it's
tell me
harder
what's
in
different.
some
Is there
way.
tell me
No,
something
it's
that was
just-
No,
you know.
Emil had a book for us,
Uh-huh.
which I have to copy over from someone else because it's been very used in water.
Ooh, can I see it? Can I see
Yeah, yeah, and
I have
That's
that
beautiful.
book, too.
It's
so-
beautiful.
So we did it much slower.
it? Okay,
If you would
That's
like,
fine.
I'd make a copy of my book for you.
that's fine. Well, I've got materials and I can give out materials.
I-
What
I
I'll do is
didn't
I'll
even
send
know
you
that.
guys. Essentially this
Mm-hmm.
on paper, just so that you could have it and
when
see
I
it.
came to you to start, I had those cards.
Yeah, yeah,
And somebody else taught me
Yeah.
how to.
Right.
yeah. Everyone learned it. I've had lots of
I made
sheets.
flashcards
Yeah.
myself,
Flashcards.
Yeah.
But this is wonderful because you're actually taking
Right, because
whatever
all-
learning you had and applying it to text.
And it doesn't have to be that slow. It
Right.
you guys actually really learned this. I mean, we did together. You did it
I
without
don't-
my help. In
I
the
don't
end.
think I could have learned it. I relearned it.
But that's fine.
Well,
But
see,
I know who I'm talking to,
Right.
so that's fine.
Right.
If you were all people who were just in the very, very beginning of learning this and had never ever heard of trope, we would have started a bit more slowly.
I've got a
Yeah.
question here. How come some of the trope is written above and some was written below?
That's the way
Is
trope
this-
is.
Doesn't matter where it's...
No, that's the way trope is. Some symbols are written above the word, some are written below the word. As I said, most of them appear wherever the emphasis of the word is. Diana, right? Some of them are stuck always in the same place.
And they help
Right.
you because
Absolutely,
where
yeah.
where that is
So
when
tell her
you
to take-
know where to put your accents. So.
Any other? And I want to know if you have any questions before we finish today. I'm not going to rush you guys out because I want to make sure that we have
No
enough.
questions.
No,
It's just I
well,
gotta
think about it.
practice.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's
it.
it. No
Yeah.
questions.
And no pressure yet. This was only the
There's no
first
pressure.
lesson, so you don't need to do anything. If you want to review, go home. I'll teach you how to go onto YouTube. If you don't know, find it on YouTube You could watch the whole class all over again. And, that's what you could do. You can watch it every day if you want.
Right.
You will remember this stuff.
YouTube isn't on the, what do you call it?
I'm going to actually pause.
So demo, something